Good morning. Today we talk about an issue that has been agitating the people. Global warming. A myth or a reality. President Obama says that after terrorism, the biggest threat to the humanity is global warming. Al Gore made it his base and got the Nobel Prize for Peace for his espousal of global warming. Scientists have been scaring us into believing the polar ice cap is melting, the sea level would rise, and it would be the end of the world. Little did they forget that the world has always ended by ice and not by fire. It's the ice age which was the end of the civilization every time. Nevertheless, for the first time in the history, it is once again the clarity and the honesty of the scientists which has revealed that this global warming is a big hoax meant to terrify people, increase spending for no means except to win Nobel Prize for Al Gore. 1979 was the end, the culmination of the coolest period in history at that time. And then they found that in 2005, the average temperature had come by 3%. They thought the same trend continues, and 2012, it was again down by about 10%. Based on these mathematical equations, Al Gore said that by 2014, the complete polar cap, ice cap, would melt away. That was a plea. In India, Terry President Pachuri, who is also the president of the UN Environmental Group, said that Himalaya is melting. Later on, of course, they retracted. And they said, well, it was a mathematical error, it's not melting. Anyway, regarding the polar cap, would you believe that NASA's latest pictures and the latest statement released last night revealed that the polar cap is 5% above average, not below average. It's amazing that our scientists and the politicians make statements that are not valid. This time the polar cap is higher than it was, and there is no possibility that it's going to melt. As a matter of fact, as per Al Gore, there should have been no polar cap this year at all. In 2014, it should have melted. And today is 2016. And it's, as I said, and as NASA said, it is increased by 5% average. If that is the global warming, then really there is. It's a fact that the temperature of the world is rising very slowly, very marginally. But it's more because of the natural factors rather than the human factors. Even if we stop everything, all activity, even then the temperatures will continue to rise because of the natural factors, including agriculture, vegetation. And do you know, by the way, that the biggest pollution is not from the auto industry or from the airlines, but it is from the animal world. The methane produced by the animal is much more polluting than anything else in the world. But now, they must blame other sectors to which they are inimical to. Global warming was taken up to delude people, and when Obama said it's as dangerous as terrorism, I thought that he was thinking of sending armies to Arctic. Poor Obama. Is there a reply by Al Gore or by Obama to this clarity issued by NASA that polar cap today is much bigger and much higher than it was earlier? Not only that, there was a book which I read long back that the civilization has always ended by ice and never by fire. There has been historical evidence and scientific evidence. We have found human beings standing or sitting wherever they were when the ice fell, and they were just frozen to death. The dinosaurs, which have been revealed, are not lying. They are standing upright. Global warming or ice age, as a matter of fact, they are natural phenomena. Change is always there. But no change can ever be that scary, that dreadful, that fearful, that awe-inspiring as to terrify the human beings out of all their sensibilities and start cringing that the sea water level is going to rise. No, this is a real fear, that sea level would rise. But how much? If it rises by 3 feet, then there's a danger. Rising by half a centimeter, 1 centimeter, or 2 centimeters, let's say, would have a marginal effect. Last year was the first time in the history that there was snowfall in Australia, and there was a snowfall in Peru. Was that global warming? No. Was that ice age? No. It was just a manifestation of the change. The earth moves from the sun and it tilts, and there's a small tilt more. And that small tilt makes for the changes of the climate, weather, and it can be more warm, it can be more cold. Scientists would always find some explanation or the other for these changes. El Nino, polar vortex. Now, such words are not meant to overawe you. They are the technical terms for the phenomena so that the phenomena can be understood very easily. But that definitely does not mean, like President Obama said, that okay, this is as fearful as terror is. No. And then misrepresentation. What Rajinder Pachori and his team said about the melting of the glaciers in Himalayas was not a miscalculation, it was a misrepresentation. There's always a hidden reason. Now let's be very honest. I do not say that everybody is corrupt. There are people who are very dedicated, who are very honest, but there are also people who are not so. And it is those people who are a problem. Al Gore made it a mission after having failed to win the election. As the President of the United States, he made a mission to become a world leader. And what better way than to feed on the fears of the people and create a new object of fear, of awe. An object which shall terrify us all and become an apostle of safety. He created this thing, and when I talked to him here in Toronto, when he came here, I told him that he is creating a bulk PR. I told him openly that in case he is so concerned about the pollution, why is he traveling by the special aircraft when he can travel in an ordinary aircraft? Why does he come in a cavalcade of 20 white cars, all limousines, and not be one cab? Why? But he had his purpose, and that culminated in his being awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. The reality is that the baser instincts prompt the politicians to take up a cause, and helped by some pliable scientists, they project the cause in a pseudo-scientific manner. And the credulous people and the paid media, with a great marketing campaign, takes it up as the gospel truth. And that campaign ultimately is self-destructive. You know, it's always said you can fool some of the people for some of the time, all of people for some time, but not all the people for all times. These people have thought, and they always keep on thinking, that they can fool all the people all the time. That's not done. Now, when NASA comes with these latest pictures, and I saw them last night at about 11:30, they were released, I was astonished. Huge glaciers and 5% above average. Doesn't this knock the bottom out of the plea of the global warming? Doesn't it reveal that the President of the United States has not applied his mind before sending the terrifying messages that global warming is a curse, is a scourge, worse than terrorism? Wow. I'm again reminded how credulous we are. Why do we accept the things stated by the people at the helm of authority as gospel truth? Why do we believe that they're the oracles of Delphi who can say no wrong, do no wrong, when in reality is the other way around? They are always wrong, they mislead, and they mislead it knowingly, purposefully, for selfish reasons. 25 years back, this thought of the global warming started. And it was always around the corner. It hasn't crossed the corners yet. So friends, don't bother, don't worry. Global warming would be there, yes. As I said, temperatures would keep on rising, more population, more production, more changes beneath the soil, beneath the earth's surface. All these natural factors and the evolutionary factors would increase the temperature. But nothing is going to be epochal peace. Nothing is going to be the end of the world. Nothing is going to be a calamity. Thank you.